Well, that's something new. Are we not using the nesting boxes to lay our eggs in anymore, girls? Like, what is this on the ground? Good morning, guys. Welcome to Homestead Hopes. Today, I just wanted to check in. It's definitely been a while since we've put out any videos. You know how it is, you just get busy with life, and that's what happened with us. So today we're going to go in, take care of the chickens, see how they're doing, and maybe get a little update of the garden. So I hope you'll join us and see what's been going on the homestead. All right, now it looks like the girls are ready to eat. It's super bright out here this morning and a little foggy. Still haven't gotten those cold temperatures like we would think we would have by now, but that's okay. We're just rolling with it around here. And let's see, everybody is here. We've got 8 chickens still. No casualties this summer, so that's something to be happy about. Well, that's something new. Are we not using the nesting boxes to lay our eggs in anymore, girls? Like, what is this on the ground? So, first things first, I've got a bowl here to collect my eggs in because we are now washing our eggs, in case you didn't know that from our last video. We've decided that it's healthier for us to wash our eggs before we store them away in the refrigerator rather than putting them in there and then washing them for them to last longer. We don't really need them to last as long as we thought we needed to because we go through eggs pretty quickly around here. So we're going to go ahead and get us 1 scoop to start with. These are our Crumbles by Producer's Pride. We get those at Tractor Supply. Roughly about $13 a bag. Super, super cheap. And my chickens love them. Now, they also make these in what they call pellets. Mine don't like those as much. They like these Crumbles. And I've recently realized I probably need to add in some oyster shells with these that are crushed up because my eggs, the shells on them are pretty thin, and sometimes just simple things like washing them off in the sink, they'll bust in my hand. So definitely need to add in some oyster shells if you're having that problem. Now, as you can see, you could probably see some yellow squash there on the ground inside of the run. That's because these girls, I want them to be able to forage and everything. Also, if we've got waste from our garden that we're not going to eat, we definitely want the chickens to be able to take advantage of it and eat it for themselves. They enjoy it. They will hollow out anything that you put in here with them. Especially, it seems like they really enjoy watermelon. And unfortunately, on the gardening side of things, our watermelons aren't doing so well. We did get 1 cantaloupe from all of the plants that we planted this year. So that was kind of a bummer, but it was delicious and tasty, and we enjoyed it around here. Now I'm just cleaning out their water because these guys get super, super messy when it comes to their water. As I've said before, they will literally drink from mud puddles, even if they've got a clean water source. So they always muck up their water bowl. We have to always clean it out. It's just something we've gotten used to over the months that we've had them. So we're going to go ahead, give them a second scoop because our egg production is down right now. Probably by the end of the day, we'll maybe get about 5 eggs, whereas we were getting 8 a day. So want to give them some more of this. Make sure that they are getting plenty of food to encourage them to lay more eggs. There you go, girls. And you see how they just go after these crumbles? They love them. We've tried other foods. They don't like them as much. And that one, she likes to scratch around in the food and everything. That egg is super messy, girls. That's exactly why we've decided to start washing our eggs before putting them in the fridge, because that's a major bacteria and I don't want to store that with my food in the fridge. So that's why we're cleaning them. But so for now, the chickens are taken care of. They've got their snacks for this morning. So now we're going to probably move on to the garden, just see if there's a little bit of stuff here and there. It's pretty well died off. The only thing that really did well this year was our okra, and everyone knows with okra, if you don't get out there and pick that stuff every 3 days, it's going to get huge. It'll taste woody and stringy. And even though to the naked eye, it looks like it's delicious, it's not going to be. It's going to be really bitter and not good. So let's go check on the garden. Now, the garden is not a very pretty place at this time. We do have our pumpkins here. We've got some watermelons over there. We had cantaloupes over on that side of the garden. So I'll just do a quick run through and show you what's producing still, what's died. Just a quick little reference to maybe refresh your memory on what our garden looked like. So these are our pumpkins, and they're not all that great. I planted these in July because you're supposed to harvest by October 31st. Well, as you can see, this little guy, it's not going to be big by October 31st, but that's okay. Everything is simply a learning experience. Now over here, we have an oddly misshapen watermelon. As you can see, it's pretty big from the size of my foot. We had a lot of problems with our watermelons exploding or being deformed, shaped almost like gourds. We don't know what happened. We don't know if something might have possibly gotten in and messed with them or whatever, but for any reason, for some odd reason, they just didn't turn out this year. But now I'm seeing we've got a pretty good contender for our jack-o'-lantern this year. I like that. Hopefully they will get a little bigger before October. And over there's a little lonely cantaloupe. We're just waiting on that one to get ready to pick. Now, we only got one this year. The other two did the same as the watermelons and exploded, so they ended up being food for the birds and the bees. All right, so I found another cantaloupe. That one seems to be doing well over there. We'll leave that one alone. But this is the fine example I have here of a cantaloupe that busted open, and we just left it in here for giving back to the soil purposes. It's just going to put more minerals back into the ground, and if I wanted to, I could collect those seeds there and replant, but I just don't have the want to do that right now. Now here's a late watermelon patch we decided to put in. It's doing well. I don't see any evidence of weeds, and that is because we put down tarp. So we put down tarp, we cut a hole out, planted our plants, and lo and behold, no weeds. Weeds are the enemy around here. Now, there may be a couple here in this little area that you can hand pull, but definitely not like what weed pressure we've got going on with our other plants, to where we just put the cardboard and the mulch around. Hopefully we'll get a few watermelons out of this. If we don't, it's okay. Next year, my husband and I have decided we are going to go with adding weed barrier cloth on the entire garden. and then cutting out where our plants are going to be sown. That way we have no weed pressure around anything anymore because we're sick of it. And there's a little tiny baby watermelon right there with that little yellow bloom on it. How cute. So our cucumbers have basically ran their lifespan cycle. They still give us some cucumbers here and there, and we've gotten lots of beautiful pickles and everything out of these that were so tasty. But now they're starting to produce these little deformed ones, which these are fine. They're perfectly edible. They're just not pretty. But as you know, the produce we find in grocery stores that looks so pretty, it's not actually very good for us because there's so many GMOs on it and everything. This was grown from our house with our hands with no pesticides. So I'll definitely choose the odd, peculiar looking cucumber over the perfect one at the grocery store every time. Now, out of all the pumpkins we planted here in this little trench, this was the only one that survived, and it's making its way up the trellis, looking good. I'm hoping and praying that it makes it and does something good, but I'm not crossing my fingers. Now, we have come to realize that we believe there is some sort of dysfunction in the soil up against the trellis right here. Because if you remember right, we put those beans here and they just died. They didn't produce anything. And now we're seeing the pumpkins are having a rough time as well. So that tells me there's something going on here that definitely needs to be addressed next year. We'll probably have to add in some minerals to the soil and what they call amend the soil to get it healthier. Now, I was very hopeful for tomatoes this year, an abundance of tomatoes, because we love eating them just sliced up or fried green tomatoes. Definitely wanted to can some tomatoes and make our own sauces and things like that. But it just wasn't in the plans for us. So I just chalked it up to all my tomatoes died over the summer. They got too hot. And they just didn't make it. So I thought that we were out of luck this year. But as you can see, I've now got tomatoes coming on these plants. And they're actually nice looking tomatoes. Now, hopefully they have time before it gets cold outside to produce quite a few. I don't know that I'll get that many this year, but that's okay. If they're still green on the plant, but they look like they're big enough to be picked and enjoyed, I'm personally going to go ahead and pick those and then put them in a shaded area on my porch or in my window in my kitchen so they can go ahead and ripen out and turn red. Sometimes if you leave them on the vine too long, and you allow them to turn red on the vine, they will at times explode, split, or obviously hornworms and things like that will get a hold of them and get to enjoy it before you. So we're going to be pulling these early. Just as soon as they look big enough to pull, we're going to go ahead and come out and get them. And hopefully we get quite a few tomatoes, even though summer is coming to a close. And you see, these plants, it's crazy how big they're getting. We've got tomatoes on this one. Got some little ones right there. Not seeing any hornworms this morning, but boy, let me tell you, I have gotten some giant worms out of these tomatoes. Now, this one's probably not going to have time to do anything, but that's okay. I'm still going to allow it to survive. And this plant really baffles me because look at how it just doesn't have any leaves. It looks really pathetic, to be honest, but it's still got tomatoes on them. And on it, I'm sorry. But if you look right here, I'm going to go ahead and pull this guy. We had something dining on our tomato, so it is basically ruined. It's too hard to eat, and it's just ruined. So we'll go ahead and give that to the birds. They enjoy it. But we do have some plants that are doing well. This is kind of fascinating. These are way close to the ground. pretty big tomatoes. I may go ahead and pull those today or tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and start that ripening process with them. We always have great luck with peppers. Peppers are our go-to plants. They always grow so awesome out here, but I think it's because it's a type of a plant where you don't have to do much for it. I mean, it pretty much repels its own bugs. And yeah, we've been up to our ears in different types of peppers this year, which we're very grateful for. My tomatillo plants, they were a bust. They looked good and everything, but the tomatillos did not ripen out. And I've read that if you open those up when they're not mature, then you run the risk of poisoning yourself. We definitely don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these sometime and just throw them into my compost pile. That's the best place for them if we're not going to utilize them. This is our okra. It's humongous. As you can see, these are those big woody pieces that I was telling you about. They're just way too big to eat. Now I can chop these up and give them to my chickens for some added nutrition in their diet. We certainly hate to waste things, but to me it's not wasting if the chickens enjoy it. Now what I need to do is get out here and go ahead and cut all of these off and do whatever I'm going to do with them. Now there are some that are newbies on the plant that would be okay to make pickled okra out of. That's what we like to make with them. My husband also likes fried okra, but we don't really eat a lot of that. But if you see here, this one is of the perfect size for picking. You see how small that is? Now, if you come over a little further down, this one is huge. It's not going to be good. It's grown way too much. The only good you can get out of that is probably just to get the seeds out and dry those out and use them next year. Another thing is I always wear gloves whenever I harvest my okra. If you have ever gotten into fiberglass, you know that itchy, uncomfortable feeling. That's what it feels like when you touch an okra plant. It will get these fibers all over your hands and everything. And for me, I have to take a hot shower and put on some lotions and things to try to get rid of that itch. So I just save myself the uncomfort and wear gloves. Now, this cucumber is huge. Like, it's not even meant to be this big. I mean, the variety it is, it's not supposed to be this big. I don't even know if I can get him off the vine. There we go. It's huge. And you know what? It's still going to be good, especially since I'm going to put it into pickles and everything. I don't know if you can see them, but did you know that cucumbers put these little nodes on the top of them? So on their outside, they have nodes, which kind of feel prickly. They don't stick to your skin like thorns or thistles, but this deters birds from eating the plant because they get near them, they get pricked, and they decide, whoa, we don't want a bite of that. We don't know what that is, so they leave it alone. So when that happens, it's nature's way of protecting this great plant for the consumer like myself to enjoy. This looks like a potato that's coming up. That's the remnants of what we dug. When we dug our potatoes, one probably stayed in the ground and now it's making a plant. That one probably won't get eaten. There's another one over there. We are going to go over and tarp the garden for the winter, so it'll probably just die out. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a potato or two. This watermelon is our pride and joy. It's pretty big. We are waiting for the tendril. It's so hard to see through the weeds. To turn brown, and that signifies, hey, it's time to pick me. I'm done growing. And that's when we'll pick that thing and enjoy it. I did my best to try and weed these, and it just didn't work out for me. The weeds have taken over, and it's to be expected. That's what we've had go on every year. We just try to improve and do better next year. That's all we can do, really, guys. Here's one of those deformed watermelons that looks like a gourd. It probably won't produce anything worth eating. If it does, we'll enjoy it, but I don't have very high hopes for it. Our squash really went crazy over here. It's still producing little small yellow squash, and if we pick them early, they're very good to cut up and saute and have as a side dish with steak or something like that. But they're just not getting to full maturity anymore. You have to pick them before the bugs get to them, and there's some bugs that destroy everything that I loathe. But yeah, so that's our squash. Not doing too great right now. So as you can see, our bountiful harvest for the day is not very much, but that's okay. We'll enjoy all of these. I could have stayed out there and picked some more jalapenos, but we have so many already. We need to eat those before we start bringing more into the house. But that's what we got for today. I'm not upset about it at all. We did get a very good harvest of eggs for sure. So our chickens have been our best investment. We've gotten quite a return out of those. We've been able to gift eggs to people, have plenty of eggs for our own family, and you know, at times they are a little bit of a pain in the butt, but we've not had any issues with them as far as health problems or lice or mites or anything. So there you go. There's an update from Homestead Hopes on what we've got going on here. We're hoping to make some more videos and start putting out more content more frequently. There's going to be some changes around the homestead. Of course, the garden is going to die off, and that will be an empty space. But we are going to utilize that as well through the winter time, and we hope you'll stick around and find out what we use that for. But anyways, thanks for watching. We hope you like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. If you like our content, please keep tuning in and supporting our channel. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Come on, guys. Let's go.